Hey everyone, welcome back to Unsealed and Revealed. I'm still Terry Smith, your host for the show, and with me in the studio, all the way out in the Sideshow office in California, is my buddy Guy Klender. Good morning, Guy.
Good morning, Terry, and welcome. This is great to see you.
Likewise, man. Yeah, you're looking as handsome as ever. Nice to see you in
Also,
with a six scale figure box. I mean, I really like,
I think
I'm
this is
like
why
you.
I
I
look
really
best.
enjoy any time that I get a new six scale figure box in my presence. I actually have a few on either side of me here, but you can't see them.
Oh, you collect
But
six
yeah,
scale
yeah.
too. That's right.
Yeah, rumor has it. Yeah,
good to
yeah.
know. Good to
Additionally, in
know.
the studio, as always, minding the store, like going through all your comments, making sure that your questions get answered, is my friend Paul Hernandez. Hello, Paul.
Hello, hi everyone. Welcome. Very excited to be here. As always, we are live on Facebook's plural of Sideshow Facebook page, Let Your Geek Sideshow Facebook group, Twitch, Periscope, and of course we're over on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. Because as we say, every time you like this video, Terry and Guy smile gets a little bit wider. So we really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Let me know if you have
Want
any
a
questions
room to
for him.
smile. I can feel it
And
happening. Yeah.
and and, and today
Thanks,
we
yeah.
get wings.
Thank you for that, everybody. Thank you, Paul, for that. And speaking of all that, all the social media channels out there, if you are watching this show, we assume that you, like us, are a great lover of six scale figures, figural art in general, and even maybe the art of those figures. If so, we're anxious to see what you're doing at home with these figures that we're showcasing on this show and our other shows as well. So if you feel so inclined, once you hit a pose that you think is awesome, then go ahead and snap a photograph of that pose, post it to your social media channel of choice with the hashtag home poser. Sometime in the near future, we're going to start showcasing a select few of those images on this show. So, looking forward to seeing what everybody's doing with that. And without further ado, I think that it's time for my friend Guy to actually break out and announce which figure it is that we're going to be playing with today.
All
Guy, what you got?
right. We are looking at Kier, Shadow of Heaven, a variant version within Court of the Dead. Absolutely spectacular. Unique box and very, very securely packed. Very minimalist on the front. You're going to see the Court of the Dead, Sideshow Original, and the TBLeague, as well as name of the figure. These are all done in either a gold or a silver foil. Coming up to that large sword she is known for. As I
The
said,
signature blade for sure.
we're quite minimal on this, and I do like that. There's a lot of hidden things in there, and then we have some of the artwork of her on the back. All right.
Wow,
As you
that's
see, she has
that's quite
some.
lovely.
Yeah, as you see, she has some
I
wings
love the
there. We're going to be
wings and the
taking a
shadow.
look.
That's a great shot.
Now, this box has magnets on either side, so it lifts up and off. If you wanted to use that perhaps as a background display
Yeah.
with your stand, you obviously could. So it does have a nice thing like that. There's an introduction to TBLeague and these style of bodies and how they are done, how to care for them and how to pose for them. Obviously, being a seamless body, it's a little different because there's not a joint you're looking at going, okay, here's where I bend it, here's where I move it. So they've done a lot of information for you in there and how to do it. We're going to then remove our top foam piece. And inside, I'm going to show you that very, very secure in there.
Whoa.
You're going to be lifting off the ones for the arms and legs. As I said, there's no way that she's going to fall or bounce around. Inside, you're going to have her armament, additional hands, up around the neck, the armband, the head as well. There is a foam piece here. Remove that because behind there is where you are going to see the halo. This will also lift up, and underneath you're going to have her cape as well as a figure stand. So I'm going to start to move all of this out of here and we'll discuss a little bit further.
Right, cool. I really do enjoy that that means of presentation when they have the cut foam to store the figure. When that's your first view of the figure. Having plastic clamshell trays is great, but I really feel like this foam actually takes it to the next level.
It does. It's a level of protection. It's also, you know, a level of art display. You know, you never have to really kind of worry. So I'm going to pull all of these pieces out of said foam.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to remind our viewing audience that we are actually going to be doing our typical Guess the Reveal contest later on in the show, starting at about 20 till the top of the next hour. That's 12:40 my time, 10:40 Pacific time. Now everybody knows what time zone I live in. Eventually, everybody will narrow it down. Not that anybody really cares, but I'm going to I'll be, as usual, we'll be asking everybody to just pound away on their keyboards across all the social media platforms and try to guess what next week's Unsealed and Revealed figure will be. Now, Paul will be, of course, minding the store and frantically trying to see who is the first person to actually do that. The winner, the person who actually first guesses what that figure will be, will receive as a prize the book Figure Fantasy by Daniel Picard. It's a weekly giveaway for us that we give away a copy of this book. It's a fantastic volume featuring some high quality photoshopped imagery of some 6-scale figures. Some of them which have actually been done on the Sideshow campus, as I recall. It's really a pretty remarkable book. The winner will have a great time perusing it, I'm sure. Guy, how are we doing there?
We are doing great. Now, I have removed the items here. As I said, you're going to have the sword, a stand. Now, inside, you saw the package that we had that houses the figure. When you get your brown shipping box, inside is also going to be some large foam containers that are going to have the additional pieces. That will be the display base here. Okay, I'm going to hold that up as well. You're also going to have these two large arms. You see the
That's a nice touch.
And that they lay right on top, like so.
Wow, very cool.
Which is pretty darn neat. I'm going to lift this up so you can see that we do have the sword look underneath. Nice foam to make sure, depending on where you house it, that you don't have to worry about scratch or other. As I spin around, you're going to see a little screw point hole for our stand here. Okay, this is a little bit different than we've seen on some other dynamic style stands where they will key into the top. This kind of keys into the back, and then we will move it however we need.
That's
and then up here, you hand open and then hand close. So we'll work with that. I know Terry's going to definitely have me utilize that later. I'm going to move this off to the side here and I know. You know what? Actually, what I'm going to do right now is just quickly put her into this so she's up here for the moment while I show off the other pieces. Now, this character, as we said, is the angelic version of her, and she has two different style of wings that come with it. I'm going to hold up one of each and get some really nice close-ups in there that you can see the beautiful detail and paintwork done in those wings.
Wow, look at that. That looks really, really good.
It's really neat. Now, right here.
That would look good for prototype, for production. That's amazing. Look how beautiful.
Exactly. Sam's got a great close-up on there to show that. I am going to flip over because you can see that detail work is going to be all around it. All right. Really, really nicely done. Thank you, Sam, for having it there. You see that we have the peg, and that will key into the back. I'm going to show the other option. Okay, this time I'm going to show it with the other wing. Okay, so this is where you have kind of the folded wing, both done the same way. Again, beautiful paint job and great sculpt work. There, we're going to spin around, and you can see on the back of the figure where those key in. Before I start to do any of the build like that, we'll add the other accoutrement pieces. I'm just going to hold her up here before we put on any of the other, but I do want to, well, let's put the portrait on.
Oh yeah, definitely got to look at that.
Okay, there we have that. Now, Terry, you have worked with one of these figures before.
Indeed, I worked with the original version, the Kier Death's Warbringer, was that? Or is that that's the name of the statue? I can't remember what the actual name of the 6-scale figure was. But yeah, the original Kier figure from TBLeague, I have had a hand with playing with.
So
I've had my hand on it.
these do have some similar items. One, the cape this time done in the blue. And we can either pose with or without the cape. Because I like the idea of the wings. I think I'll leave the cape off for today, but I did want to show that it does. It does, obviously, if you chose to not do it, you will do a little hand tie over and we'll spin around.
And then I'm guessing, is there a wire in the cape? I know that our audience will want to know
There
that.
is wire in the cape. Yes. I'm going to remove this here and we'll talk about the wire in the cape. So you've got wire all the way down there so we can really, I think, knowing Terry, you are a fan of the folds. Because
You have to be, Guy. Yeah, you have to be a fan of the folds.
I am as well. So as you can see, I can do a lot of nice tight folds down in the base. So you've got a full wire down on the sides and a full down along the base. All right, so let's set our cape aside. Terry, now what wings would you like to see me place on our figure here today?
I'm gonna go with the folded wings at first. I really, because
go.
I'm thinking I'm gonna want to go with posing with the regular ones first, but I later on in the show.
All right.
But I really am anxious to see what those folded wings look like. I think they look really sharp. I like how prominent the claw is that comes out of the top. It's very, very neat look, and I'm really looking forward to
All right. Well, Terry, before I start to pose and dress the figure, let's talk about some of the other things that she's going to come with. Her shin armor. We'll take a look at those because I'm going to have to slide those up and over. You do get to, it's obviously your choice whether or not you want to armor your figure up or not. Of course, I pretty much dig it. So I will be.
It's the armor look is very, very cool, but you can see how it would appeal to people to leave the armor off.
Yeah. These are going to be on the wrists. Okay, again, thank you, Sam, for the close-up. That'll go on there, so I'll be removing the hands to set those on. While I've got the hand removed, I will also be putting on our wrist cuff as well. So I'm going to be doing that for the moment, and I'm going to let you and Paul have a wonderful conversation.
Okay, great. Yeah, just wanted to... Paul, I think that this now is as good a time as any to announce to the audience what I believe we already announced at the show last time, but for those tuning in who might have missed it, we are actually going to be giving away a brand new copy of this figure, so to speak, to a lucky winner of a Gleam contest. Paul, do you want to give the people the details on that?
Yes. So, as mentioned last week and just a moment ago from... Where is he? There he is. Terry Smith. We are giving away the Kier Shadow of Heaven figure right now, live during the show. Now, all you got to do is head over to side.show forward. Oh, where's my? There it is. Side.show / Shadow Kier for a chance to possibly win this figure that we are unsealing and revealing today. Now, as always, due to international giveaway laws, it is U.S. only, and you have to be present to win. So, again, in order to for an opportunity, for a chance, just a chance, all you need is just a chance. Rebellions are built on hope. I know, wrong IP, but giveaways are built on hope. Head over to side.show / Shadow Kier for a chance to win this incredible figure. Again, U.S. only, and you got to be present to win. We'll announce the winner a little bit later.
Very, very cool. Yeah, thanks for that, Paul. Yeah, I'm really excited to see who wins this figure, and I'm going to have to say that I'm going to be really, really jealous. I didn't know a whole lot about it coming into it, but looking at it already, I can see that the things that I would do with it would very much reflect one of my own personal heroes, the late great Frank Frazetta. I can see echoes of some of his stuff in this figure for sure. It's you can see there on screen that Guy is daring to have Kier don her armor.
Yes,
it's a delicate operation to say the least, and he seems to be pulling it off quite nicely. The left leg is already done.
Yes, it's because of that soft material. It's going to be a unique. If this is the first time you've ever worked with one of the TBLeague style bodies, it's amazing without having any of the joints in the natural way that it goes. So it's a little different to feel it. This is not your standard kind of snap-on harder plastics that we're used to. So I'm being gentle to work it up onto the leg.
I'm actually, since I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity, Guy, right now because of the way that you're holding the figure. But I think this is a perfect opportunity to bring in our weekly feature on Unsealed and Reveal, and that being Tread Watch.
It is. It is. Let's take a look. We're barefooting today. I don't think Terry and I, you and I have had barefoot yet.
I don't think so either. I think this is the first time.
So this is the barest of treads we're ever going to see. However, this does get to show off the way in which all of those ball joints that it has and its flexibility. So you're really not very, very limited with that. While we've got it there, let's talk about the, now that I have that armament on, we have the front here. These are also wired.
Oh, great. Yeah, I love a good windswept.
Down the side is there as far as for windswept. All right. I did switch out one of the hands. Terry may have me switch the hand later, but I did work up the wristlet as well as the other. I'm almost done here. I'm new to Court of the Dead. I have always been a fan of the art itself.
Yes.
When I first saw it being introduced at some of the conventions and such, it was always very, very, a very unique look. And so this is really my first time to get to kind of learn a lot about it, the idea of factions and such. And, I learned quite a bit when we had a Court of the Dead day here at Sideshow, which they did, which I thought was pretty great. All right. Last up here. Now, I do want to set her back on here before I do the wings because I do want to show off the portrait on here. She's so...
Show off the portrait, and then I need to let the audience know that we are going to be bringing on, and you, Guy, if you aren't aware, but I think you are, that we are going to be bringing on in just a couple of minutes a special guest to talk to us more about Court of the Dead. So
I had
let's
heard...
go ahead and get a closer look, because I know that the audience is clamoring to get a close-up of that portrait. They're really curious to see how she looks, and so am I, for that matter.
The portrait is really nice. Now, if you saw when I was unpacking the foam of it, this is a hardened plastic halo. It is attached. So when you're lifting the head out of the packaging, make sure that you lift that foam ring, out first.
Good save. Good save, Guy.
Well, yes.
Yeah, those quick reflexes.
Here I was looking for the little bit of foam to show you, and I wasn't watching her.
You got to watch that Kier. She's a wily one.
They are. Get away from her. But I do want to show around. Let's take a look at the close-up on there. Number one, I love the intensity. I love the look of the paint. You do have those bright and wet eyes. The lips also having that wet look. But look how tight the sculpt is on the hairline.
Yep.
All of the strands of hair there. Around.
The paint leading into it is you don't see any indication that they rushed through this. There's just some nice delicate brushwork going on that makes it look very, very realistic.
Yeah, they took a huge amount of care. Now that Sam has it, I am going to spin back so we can now see the braids.
Yep, those
signature braids are done. Man. The signature braids, and we see that there are the key in parts for the wings. So without further ado, I am going to wing it up.
Wing it up really quick and
winging it up.
We got
closed wing.
Great.
Or
this might. I don't know. I say this a lot, and then I frequently don't follow through. But this might actually be something that I need in a DTOF here in my office. Because,
and there's sometimes hesitation in your voice, but not really. Usually it happens pretty quickly afterward.
Yeah.
You click the links below.
All right. Well, we're going to move forward with posing that here in a little bit.
Boom.
But I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
Yeah. Well, without further ado, I think it's about time for us. I'm sure that there are quite a few members of our audience out there who have no knowledge or experience with Court of the Dead. Even those of you who have been exposed to the Court of the Dead may have some questions or may your knowledge base can be filled a little bit more. For that, I'd like to bring on a guy that I haven't spoken to in person in far too long, and it's really good to see his face even on video. Andrew Seco. Andrew, welcome to Unsealed and Revealed. How are you?
Thank you. Hey guys, I am so excited to be here. I've never gotten such a good look at the Kier Shadow of Heaven figure. Um, this is fantastic. There is so much lore that's littered into this that you wouldn't think would be there, being that it's an alternate, timeline sort of figure. But the lore is there, and I'm all there for the lore.
Why don't we talk a little bit? I know that there's been some evolution for this character's story, and I'm kind of curious to hear about it myself. If you can maybe just give myself and the audience just a little bit of backstory of how Kier came to be and how this figure relates to that story.
Sure. Let's see if I can do this briefly. That is not my strong suit.
Hard thing to do, yeah. Clip notes, right?
So this is, of course, the alternate timeline version, but in the main Court of the Dead universe, Kier is an angel, but she was an imperfect angel, and so she was exiled from heaven. So
Okay.
she was walking, the edge of the realm when she was sort of, in a way, hoping for death. So Death the All-Taker, the Lord of the Underworld, arrived and said, I think that we have similar goals. I think that you know how terrible the angels are. And that's kind of the big shock of Court of the Dead, that the angels and demons that you know or know about, you know about them wrong, because they're two sides of the same manipulative, hateful coin. They're both just trying to use your soul, your etherea, for a war. But instead, Death is, with the Court of the Dead, trying to raise a rebellion. So Kier signs on for the rebellion to fight against the angels. But in this version, she was never the imperfect angel. Angel just like her twin sister. And so this Kier, Shadow of Heaven 6th scale figure, beautifully encapsulates the idea of perfection that angels love. It just, and it shows sort of what Kier's twin would look like.
So
Not
essentially,
sure.
if whatever led to her being what you call an imperfect angel, whatever led her to her imperfection had never come to pass. This is the reality. This is the ultimate of what she would have been.
Exactly. You can see her story. There are free comics online on courtofthedead.com that can dive a bit into her story. And if you've heard of the Grave Tales graphic novel, it's a comics omnibus that also has her story in it, along with a bit more narration. But
That's cool. Yeah, now where can people pick up a copy of this graphic novel? Is that still available?
I believe that it is available just
Fantastic, very
on
cool.
Sideshow. I don't have a short link for you, unfortunately.
That's
What I do have is just the love of this figure and how it explores that story further. Because this goes beyond the comics. This goes beyond what's even written online right now.
It's one of the things that I love about things like this. And even if you don't have a knowledge of Court of the Dead, you can still admire the artistry that went into crafting the character. If you knew nothing of Court of the Dead and saw this on somebody's shelf, it would definitely pique your curiosity, and you'd have to ask, who is this person and what's her story?
I agree. I think that the way you can look at it is to explore what perfection means to those angels. You can even see her sword is perfectly straight. Now, I don't know if the Kier Shadow of Heaven has named her sword differently, but Kier has named her sword Bitter Edge.
Ooh.
And so seeing Bitter Edge in this figure, it's just stunning. And seeing it in its full perfect context, ugh.
That would be interesting to find out what this version would have named her sword, if she would have named it at all.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine. It seems to me like to name your sword Bitter Edge would be sort of a reflection or an echo of what led you to be this imperfect creature that you became. Maybe sort of a lament. The bitterness, the bitter part of it would seem to me like to be some sort of a lament for what she has become, a loss, an acknowledgement of the loss of what she could have been, and of what we're seeing here. So that's, yeah, we're kind of evolving the story as we speak.
Yeah, I think that's the trick. She's not imperfect. Kier isn't imperfect. She's just imperfect in the eyes of the angels, and that's the trick.
Okay. That's okay. I'm seeing where you're going with this. Yeah, it is of course a matter of perspective.
I'm just looking
we're
at
looking there, Guy.
so much of the detail. While you guys have been talking about it, I'm looking at just some of the detail on like the chest plate there. If Sam's going to get a close up there to show some of that armament. I mean, even though she's minimally armored up, it is incredibly detailed. With the skull there.
There we
Kind of
go.
see the shadows when I throw a little light up on there.
Now, Paul, if I can just address you really quick, and if we're talking to the audience out there in the interwebs, do the viewers have any questions for Guy or for Andrew? If anybody has any questions for Andrew, that would be a great thing. I'm sure that somebody wants to know a little bit more about Court of the Dead.
Yes. Some questions for Guy. Some people had asked earlier a little on YouTube specifically about how easy is it to key in those wings first.
All right.
Secondly, the halo that she's got behind her, is that removable? And again, what is the level of difficulty in removing that halo or not removing that halo? And then I think for Andrew, people were, they were just super excited anytime that you are on the show, because I think that might be a record, Andrew. I was timing it. The fastest you've ever gone through a Court of the Dead explanation.
Yes.
Thank you. I really
That was
tried
pretty
my best.
good.
Yes,
Not
I
bad.
covered a lot of ground.
I called
And I did
Andrew earlier this week to ask about stuff, and I was surprised. He said, "Well, I'm going to try and do this quick, but I'm not good at quick." But I love getting all of the knowledge. I can appreciate this just purely as an art form than purely as a figure. But when you are able to have that story behind it and that knowledge, there's even so much more to it. And I think that's fantastic. To touch base on the two other questions that we had there, first up about the halo. No, this is not a removable piece. This is a reason I wanted to bring up the please be careful when you pull it from the package. As I said, everything is nice and foamed in there. When it is in the package, there will be a foam bit over it like that. So make sure you lift that foam out first before lifting the head to not put any pressure on that back connection.
Actually, I might bring in that foam piece for the pose later, Guy. So
okay, I will have that foam piece ready. I wouldn't doubt it, Terry. You're going to make me do different stuff. I know it. Why don't I now, because it was asked about it, why don't we talk about keying in the wings? Terry, this is where you and I discuss with everybody. Make sure when you are near any connection point or anything like that, get as close to it as you possibly can. So I was holding the wing all the way back here, putting my thumb underneath, giving it a little bit of lift, and it pulls right out. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to move the arm up and out of the way. Little slight move. Boom. All right. Since I do have those off, how about I put on the big, large ones? And I'm sure the question.
Start the pose now while we're at it, Guy. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about an extended wing pose?
Extended wing pose, most definitely.
Just because I happen to have those ready to go here. So, all right. Extended wing pose. They key in very, very easily, lining them up. A little bit of pressure from the thumb on that point, and they go in. Whoosh. Is that what?
While we're working on this pose, I've got a
wingspan.
special request from Paul. Paul would like everybody to call out what their Court of the Dead faction is. Forget what's your sign.
Oh,
Tell us what
okay.
Yeah. So if you know, or if you haven't taken the test on courtofthedead.com, then first of all, I would encourage you to do so. I'm just going to go ahead and come out and say it. My Court of the Dead faction is Spirit. I really wanted to be Bone just because I liked the color of the T-shirt, but okay. Looks like I'm wearing green, but that's fine. So yeah, my idea for this pose is I would like her as you have her wielding the sword. Although she's not going to be so much wielding it as she's going to be just sort of brandishing it.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even know if that's the proper word, but I just really, since we have the benefit of the support stand that you introduced right there,
Yes.
Guy, so let's just go ahead and have her sort of in a sultry walking pose, like she's just coming up one set of stairs, coming over the top of that stand where she's at, and getting ready to move down the stairs that she's on right there.
Do you happen to have a sword or broomstick near you at any right
Do
now?
I?
The reason I ask is if you could show me what this sultry walk and brandish of sword is, so I can try and replicate it. It would just speed up the process. I think people at home can understand that that's what you want to do.
Looking around
So-
here trying to find a sword, and I mean, I only have my ever-present Graflex lightsaber hilt.
Well, you know, it's good. Well, you do have some sword there, so show me what we're talking about as far as a brandish. So I'm going to do the arms first, and then I'll do
Okay,
legs
just
next.
to give you a clue, and I'm going to get this black chair out of the way.
All right.
Black, it's
I'm doing this for the audience, making sure that we get the walks for
I
Terry.
actually have a chandelier here in my office that, I put there just because I like to bump into it from time to time, like Gandalf. So,
There you go.
But I think that for the purpose of this pose, kind of what I have in mind is since she has her she'll have her wings all spread out behind her, obviously.
Yes.
But for her sword, I just want her sword to be kind of out like this. Just kind of like held out like she's presenting it, but at the same time, I just want one foot to be like in front of the other. Not a runway walk, but just like she's really just like leading with her hips.
All right.
Just kind of like get the side there and like really show my whiskey belly.
There we go.
If you follow, just kind of do something like that.
I do.
Headless Terry posing himself.
What I liked about what you were doing there is I actually have at home one of the little wooden artist models that you would use to kind of figure draw, you know, the inexpensive ones for you. And I will usually use that first to give myself an idea before I really get into the figure and go, no, that doesn't look natural. That doesn't look right. And so it's neat for me to be able to, like, when you say, okay, I want the foot or leg this way, or I can go, yes, I see what he means. Okay, I know what he wants. I'm utilizing the wires in the front cape just to give it a bit of a spin. Whoop. All right, how far forward shall we move said right leg, and are we a stiffed leg left leg?
Oh, I think that we're going to have the legs just kind of as straight as they can be.
Okay. But just a slight cross with the right leg over the left, I think is what you would suggest.
You got it. Now one of the questions that I have with this particular figure is that I know that with some of the plastic bodies, you'll find that because of the structure of the pelvis on the plastic bodies, it's very hard to bring the legs that close together. But I think that with the construction of these TBLeague bodies, you don't run into that nearly so
I'm
much.
having absolutely no problem. In fact, if you had wanted a full-on crossover, I could do it. So those feet right now I have right next to each other, touching.
I'm going to go ahead and do my profile shot again here, Guy, but I don't think you can really see my feet unless I go further back. So hopefully you can
Ladies
still
and
see
gentlemen,
me.
this is also a tour of Terry's office.
What I'm really looking for, I really want to have her hips sort of like right over her front foot. You see what I'm doing here?
Hip over
Those,
front
like,
foot.
Right over that front foot, just to provide a little bit more balance. Because with the way that they're bent right now, the way the knees are bent right now, it doesn't look all that as graceful as I'd like. That's getting it. That's getting it.
I'm gonna use the wires, lifting this out of the way so you can get a good shot at the way the legs are. So we're talking hip over front leg, a slight bend in the other leg for motion.
Now, and if you had the time to, now we don't have the time to do it today, but if we had the time to do it, one of the things that I would do is I would play with that pelvis and actually maybe like shift her hips a little bit so that they're not parallel to the ground. Just have a little bit of a sway to one hip, like she's cocking one hip as she walks.
I know what you mean.
I keep thinking of a friend of mine who just, when she walks, she just has this really awesome like sway to her hips, and that's just like a natural walk. She's not trying to do it. It's just like a.
It's also the way
thing.
you enter into a Starbucks, I've been told.
Yeah, it's very sultry, but at the same time, it's very menacing when done while brandishing a sword like this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to do a bit of a hit into there, but as you said, that's the neat part about these style of bodies is because of those ball joints all over, and as I said, they are going to be shown in that diagram that you have inside. By having that, it does mean that I'm able to look at stuff a lot more. How shall we do the draping of? Do we want a little windswept?
I'm thinking that the draping should be. I think that the drapes should be flowing towards the sword, not away from it. Just kind of providing that similar direction.
All right.
Yeah.
Terry, knowing that you love the
great.
wire in the capes, as do I.
Now, there's one more thing that I would probably do, and I think you probably know where this is going. But I think I would do just a little bit of a hashtag Terry twist in the direction of the sword.
Direction of the sword.
Very slight, very slight. It doesn't have to be much. And then, of course, turn the head to compensate. Make sure the head is still facing straight forward. The head would follow the hips, but the sword would kind of be trailing just ever so slightly behind, like she would be preparing to swing it, or like she's trying to present the idea that she is prepared to swing it.
Okay, slight Terry twist.
And does she have an open hand for the right hand?
We do have one, yes. I wasn't sure how you were going to have me have the sword, and to keep the armament on, I put in the...
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were going to go. I want you to double hand
that. I think just to add to the menace, just to have that hand relaxed, like as if to say, I'm not threatened by whatever I'm approaching whatsoever. I'm totally relaxed, but at the same time, I've got my blade at the ready. Also, I think it's really interesting that we're having her wield it left-handed. Very much sort of in Inigo Montoya style, right?
Yes.
Like I really don't. That's how much. I don't know if she's a right-handed Valkyrie, but if she is and she's coming at you with her sword in her left hand, that's how little she thinks of you.
There's a man who knows. Andrew Sacco probably knows what hand she holds her sword in.
What do you think, Andrew? Is Kier right-handed, left-handed? It doesn't really matter.
Okay, so we're asking the real questions.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the deep stuff. The deep dive.
So Kier actually is also Spirit Faction, just like you, Terry, and using the Spirit Faction practice of Spirit Mandering, she can actually make Bitter Edge, her sword, float. So does she hold it in her right or left hand? No.
Nice. The answer is neither. We both lose.
What I do love is an angel holding it in her left hand. Because classically speaking, you'd only use your right hand. And I think that shows in the smallest bit of posing storytelling. I think that shows the cracks underneath the visage. That their version of perfect isn't perfect. It's not,
That's fantastic.
It's a facade.
When I mentioned the left hand thing, I just saw your face. You weren't on camera, but I can see your face here, and it just lit up. I saw the moment when you realized that, and that was fantastic. Okay, I'm so glad that you explained that, because I was trying to figure out what you found so joyful about it.
Everything about this piece is joyful to me. I am thrilled because there are hints of sinister everywhere.
Well, talk about the real estate. Look at how between the sword is almost a full 12 inches. I mean, it's almost the height of the character. And then you've got the incredible wingspan.
Okay, Guy, really quick, what are the wings made out of? Is that like a plastic, like an ABS kind of a thing?
Yes. Yep. They are a harder plastic.
That's good because that ABS would hold a really sharp edge, and all that
Yeah, it does
definition
hold that
of
nice
seeing
sharp edge
yeah.
there.
So that's a good
Yeah.
call. That's a
Well, the
good
nice
choice.
part having those two types of wings, when we talked about just how big she is, when I said, look at those wings out. If you went, oh, I want to put it in a case, or I don't have that much shelf space. You do also, of course, have that other option.
Well, two things here that I want to tackle at this point in the show. I'd like to go ahead and announce that now is the time that we're going to start the Guess the Reveal contest. So all of you watching, if you so choose, try to guess what you think next week's figure of choice is going to be on our Tuesday episode of Unsealed Revealed. Just start pounding away at your keyboards. You can guess more than one guess. First person to provide the right guess as soon as Paul catches it will be the one who wins the Figure Fantasy book by Daniel Picard, as we were talking about earlier. So yeah, begin. I'm sure Paul is already frantic. I can see Paul just like staring intently at his screen. He's monitoring very closely. So we'll see who the winner is here in about 10, 15 minutes or maybe less. We'll find out soon. Also, the next thing that I'd like to do on the show is, if we can, let's just go ahead and do a second pose.
Alrighty? Alrighty, talk to me, sir.
I think I've lost you guys. I have to be honest. I'm seeing frozen imagery everywhere here. No one else is.
Well,
no one's moving
I
with me.
can see Terry.
So I'm just going to keep talking as if I'm the only one who's live.
Alrighty.
Let's see.
He can't hear us,
Mike,
but I can
if
hear
you're
him.
still listening, Guy, let's go ahead and try to do a second pose. Let's hope that he's still there. If Andrew is still with us, then let's.
Yeah, I'm right here, and I've got a very good idea for a pose. We've got a figure called the Shadow of Heaven, and I would like to play with the shadow. When you were showing off those wings originally, Guy, I think that there's a lot of shadow in them, but the real place to find the shadow is in the cloak.
Oh, okay.
Do
Now,
a pose with that
Andrew,
cloak.
would she be
just-
wearing her cloak as well as her wings? I think I might be able to pull that one off.
If you can pull it off, I would absolutely love to see it and see how it drapes along those.
We'll see. This is, of
Because-
course, not something I expected we'd be doing, but I like the idea of it. So I'm going to attach our folded wings. I'm going to come over with said cape. Do a little tie in front. Now, of course, I'd fiddle with this a lot more, as would Terry, throughout the throughout the day there. But I'm going to just do a quick little tie. Throw on the shield, place on our portrait.
Now, do you think that the cloak, the wire, could somehow reach up to the wings? Would they be able to interact at all, like be draped on a wing? Or
Draped
is
up
that-
and over
is that
on a
too
wing?
out there? I'm curious, but I don't want to mess anything up.
Well, I mean, the fun part of this, Andrew, and what I know Terry and I like, is play. That's what these things are for, people. We should be playing. So I like to find out what we can, what we can't, what fun things we discover along the way. So let's see. Now, right now, Andrew, I want to kind of just hand turn her around for the moment and see that that's about the length of the cape. Now, I did go and kind of crunch the wire together to do a little billowing there, but we do have quite a bit of play. As far as an up and over, I think what we would wind
Seems
up
a little
doing
more
is...
dangerous.
Well, I'm not sure. I think what it would do was stretch the cape so far that we would kind of lose a little bit of its artistry.
Well, let's not do that. Instead, I think we would benefit from seeing a truly menacing pose showing off the sword. Is there a way to do a pose, the sword right in front, almost resting on the ground?
She holding it, or you want this attempted float look?
Oh, no, the holding it. I'm not going for the float look. I'm not nearly, I haven't taken enough courses from Terry to get there yet.
Well, let's see here. Okay, what I've done, just so people can see our cape up on there, and Andrew and I are going to work this together. This is fun. Andrew, this is an incredible story that they've done so much, and I know you contribute a huge amount to it. It is one that you are incredibly passionate about, so I was pretty sure that we would be able to do stuff with you on this. So let me spin this around so you can see what we've got with the cape and the wings up. Now, obviously, if I didn't have the wings on there, that cape would go up and over the shoulder if I wanted. So, Paul, how are you doing in there?
Doing well, sir. So far, right now, no one.
So you and
has
Andrew
guessed.
are now doing the posing, you know.
We are, yes. Terry's internet was so impressed by this figure that it just fainted. So he'll be back hopefully shortly. But I guess, Andrew, we're in the driver's seat? Oh, no.
You
I hope
guys
it's
are
one
in
of
the
those
driver's-
cars, that has, a parking brake on each side.
Right.
The driver's
Let's
ed type
hope not.
cars.
There it is, yeah.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
no one has guessed correctly. I guess I can give everyone a hint. Let's see. I didn't really prepare one, and I'm not doing a bit. I really didn't. This figure, it's not always black and white. Sometimes it's a bit of a gray area. That's all I can. That's all I can say. So,
That's interesting.
yeah. Our guess the reveals
when
aren't
the
always
hint
black
is
and
over,
white.
Sam?
Sometimes they live in a gray area, folks. So, yeah, no one has guessed correctly on Facebook, on YouTube, or anything. But I'll let you guys know. I do have a winner for our Gleam, though. Oh, and as I'm saying this, we have a winner for Guess the Reveal. Congratulations to Jazzy Moncion, who is over on YouTube. Email social@sideshow.com. Let him know you won the Daniel Picard photo book there, and for Guess the Reveal, email social@sideshow.com. Let us know what you won, where you won it, and we will take care of you. Did we already see it there? It's a little dark, Guy.
Wow.
Oh, boom! Look at it there.
Gandalf.
Oh, did I miss the guest review? Oh, come on.
This is one that, wow. Yes, and they were giving
So
a hint,
cool.
so I took my earbud out. For a while, the show was being run by Paul and Andrew, and from what I've heard, they did an amazing job.
I'm sure it was awesome, and I'm sure I'm out of a job now. It's
But
yeah.
wow, take a look at that. This is, I mean, it looks like a book, the way they've done it.
Yeah, that's
Look at
pretty
that.
epic.
Even kind of the
There's
page.
really something there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just dark.
Yeah.
Yes, the whomever guessed it, I never know, and I don't like to know. That's kind of the fun for me is finding out what it's going to be. And so, wow, this is pretty darn incredible. This is one that I pre-ordered the day it became available, because I'm definitely a big fan of it. So.
The guys there at Asmus are doing some pretty amazing things with the Lord of the Rings figures, and I think that this is really a standout. Yeah, I'm really excited to see this because I've wanted to get my hands on it, so I'm going to have to do it through you through proxy, Guy, which is what I'm getting used to doing more often than not. So that's awesome. Congratulations to the winner of that contest. I'm sorry that I missed the announcement of who it was. I was briefly carried away by a team of angry angels. I don't know what I said, but I was able to straighten things out, and they brought me back. And
Did you
I
give a
guess
wing comment?
It might have been a wing comment. Who knows? Yeah, chicken wings. Yeah.
Well,
but
Terry,
I think we
what
need to go ahead. Do we have a winner yet for the Gleam contest, Paul?
We sure do.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So talk to me,
huge
Goose.
congratulations to, well, first and foremost, Andrew. Thank you for being on the show, man. It's been great having you here.
Yes,
Thank you.
you.
I've had an incredible time.
No, the winner. Sorry. So Wait, Andrew, we didn't talk about the faction quiz and how Andrew kind of rewrote the faction quiz, side.show/faction quiz, which you can go to right after we announce the winner. So, congratulations to, well, first and foremost, everyone that has, gotten to know Court of the Dead. If this is your first time ever, hearing about Court of the Dead, sound off and let us know, because Andrew has a tendency to get people into Court of the Dead.
Right, yeah. There's actually a really fantastic way to learn more about Court of the Dead. Of course, there's the, over here, Chronicle of the Underworld that,
I have that.
absolutely important. The Shadows of the Underworld graphic novel is great, but I actually made a series called School of the Dead. That's going to fall any second now. It's called School of the Dead, and you can watch it on YouTube. The whole first season, if you will, is available to learn about the underworld, its rebellion, and all of the, well, quite a few of the wonderful characters. There's way more characters than you could fit into. Yeah, there's a lot.
This is actually a perfect segue. What you're just talking about, Andrew, is a perfect segue for Guy, I think, to bring in some of those multiple characters that we're talking about. What are you starting with there, Guy? Look at that. Look at Andrew freak out. That is like the best freak out face of all time.
Take a look at that.
That's the thing of beauty.
Just
Lady Death herself, right?
Lady Death herself. Andrew was great. He gave me a lot of lessons in this one here. And
that's Queen Gethsemane, the queen of the underworld, the leader of the faction of flesh.
Yes.
She's fantastic.
I can't believe I just called her Lady Death.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything. But anyways, is that Kier?
Here we are, Andrew. We saw Kier in this angelic form. Here she is in her other form. And I love this one. Yes, the true form. As you can see, I wanted to illuminate a little bit there. I love this skull with the ethereal coming off. If you want to learn how to pose this particular figure, there's a great video on that. I also think this is amazing. I mean, this mask, can we get a close-up of the mask, Sam? We're zooming in. Boom. There you're also seeing she's got some of the armament up on the shoulder. Magnetic.
Now, I'm just going to interject right now.
Look at that. Look.
Yeah. I actually have here in my house the premium format version of this Kier figure. And when I worked with the 6-scale version, it was very hard for me there was not even the slightest loss of detail between that quarter scale statue and this 6-scale figure. That was my introduction to what TBLeague is capable of accomplishing with these Court of the Dead figures and other figures that they may do. Really, really remarkable detail. Really, really remarkable artistry. The attention to the paint apps, everything, even on the soft skin there, is just first rate.
I'm thrilled to see Bitter Edge again in a different context. That sword right there, the angelic sword, and then alongside that demonic mask that she just had on a little bit ago. That's literally from the skull of a demon that she fought. I just love how much story is in there. And just like you said, the etheria coming from the skull, that's spirit mandering right there. There's so much story in here. And I love seeing her faction pride. Again, take that faction quiz, guys.
Yeah, I think I might need to retake it since you reworked it. It's very possible that I may no longer be in the spirit faction. So, all right, thanks for bringing those in, Guy. That's a great, great transition.
This one here, I kind of dug that it has one that almost is throne-like, and so I wanted to also be able to show off. I was like, I'm going to have her sit down with that. And these little,
congratulations, very well done.
These little demon critters
awesome.
are all super fun.
Yeah, they are. Paul, I think the time has come. Let's announce that Glean contest winner. Who's going to take that fabulous Kier Shadow of Heaven figure home with them, or have it sent to their home sometime after today?
Of course, and thank you guys all so much for entering. So huge congratulations to...
You're evil and you must be destroyed. That's exactly what
right okay, now. I'm done. Congratulations to Austin Carlisle. Congratulations, Austin Carlisle. You are very clearly going home with an incredible piece. The only thing you have to do now, other than email social@sideshow.com and let us know what you won, where you won it, address and phone number, is fight off Andrew for this piece. Good luck. It's like Wreck-It Ralph. Like, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, right? And then he hits him with his own glasses. And he's like, oh, hit a guy with glasses. Nice. Congratulations,
have you named your glasses, Andrew?
Bitter glass.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bitter lens.
Oh, that was so much better.
Let's see. Austin is here over on YouTube. Congratulations, Austin. Once again, email social@sideshow.com. Let us know what you won, where you won it. That's unsealed and revealed right here. Address and best phone number to reach you at, my friend. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. And again, thanks, Andrew.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Sorry, I just love it.
Sorry, I had a little bit of a brief distraction there, so sorry for the dead air, ladies and gentlemen. But I just need to announce that we are having a bonus episode of Unsealed and Revealed this week, coming to you on Thursday, where we will be revealing the Iron Man jumpsuit figure from Avengers Endgame. You know, the one where he's the time traveling suit that takes him back to the 1950s when he has to confront his. Is it the 1950s or is it the 60s? I guess it would probably
it's in the 19s.
It's somewhere in the 19th, mid 20th century, where he actually goes back and gets to meet his father, but he's only wearing it briefly. Yeah, I think it's also made of nanobots, so he actually he can actually turn it back into the Iron Man suit, which is pretty spectacular.
It's called the Tony Stark team suit, which is available right now on our website. I'll drop the link for everyone, so you can get prepared for the show.
It's a really awesome addition to the Endgame line, obviously, but it's also a really awesome addition to the Iron Man line. It just shows Hot Toys' dedication to just providing Iron Man aficionados like myself with every possible rendition of Tony Stark and Iron Man that we can possibly get our hands on. So thank you again, Hot Toys, for giving me something else to take money from my wallet and hand it over to you.
We extend that Tony line all the time, don't we? I love it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, in every way conceivable. If there's a way that we can do more Tony Stark, then we're going to do it.
Boy, do we have a lot of wind and movement in these figures today. Look at that.
Yeah,
Capes
we do.
And
yeah.
Clothing and ethereal and blades and wow, just a lot going on.
So you did a great job there, man, while I was away. I'm guessing, Andrew, did you coach him through that?
That was exactly the pose that I wanted. That was the whole motion of it, the whole hour in that posture. Guy, you did beautifully with a beautiful figure.
Well, thank you very much. This to me is the play aspect. I had to have 3 friends come over and we got to play together. That's pretty cool. I'm loving that. That's a good day for me.
Yes, Andrew. 3 times.
All right. So just to recap, thanks again everybody for joining us for today's Unsealed and Revealed. Be sure to tune in on Thursday to watch us unwrap that Tony Stark figure from Avengers Endgame. Looking forward to that show, and following up with that next Tuesday, in which we'll be unveiling the Gandalf 6-scale figure by Asmus Toys. Something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Very excited about that show. Congratulations to our winners, both of the Gleam contest and of the Guess the Reveal contest. Hope you enjoy your prizes. And until next time, everybody, don't forget to let your geek side show.
Rise, conquer, rule.
Oh, damn. Hit him
with it.
Nice
Talk
one.
to him, man.
Nice one.
That's
Take care.